today, virtual open houses, that seems to be the biggest topic. You're getting inundated with videos that are talking about virtual open houses. You're seeing it in MLS, all kinds of stuff like that. So we wanted to make sure that we got you guys up to speed so that you knew exactly what it is. I was talking to Joanna this morning, and said it's really amazing how we realtors adapt to all kinds of situations like this. COVID is no exception, of course. And virtual tours have been around forever. Back in the day when there were like video cameras, I actually hired a cameraman to come around with a big camera on his shoulder and follow me, and I did a virtual tour. And then I took the VHS tape, put it in an overnight envelope, and sent it to a buyer. So that has changed dramatically. Everything is more live time. You can get your information out to your customers really fast. And everybody's using integral terms. They're using virtual open house, they're using virtual tours, and then there's recorded things that are either going live or pre-recorded. So it's covering a lot of different things. I think people have some questions about it, or they're not sure which it is. So today, Joanna and I are going to cover all the differences between virtual open houses, what virtual tours are, pre-recorded videos, and then address any questions and concerns that you might have today. So without further ado, the wizard herself, Joanna.
Okay, and you guys can use that chat conversation as well, because at least on my end and probably on Candy's end, because she asked, it looks like the hand raising icon is temporarily gone from Zoom.
Okay.
So just go ahead and use that chat, or use your space bar, and that'll open up your mic and let you talk. If you've been in our classes before, you're kind of used to that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start. What we're going to do is cover some of the basics with you guys, what you're going to need, how this works, and then we're going to go ahead and walk through how to do all of these steps. So hopefully you guys are either planning an open house. Some of us might have already started doing virtual open houses, which is great.
Yeah, what we're hoping is to give you enough information to where you can get started today. And we're going to be doing some live ones this weekend, so watch for some invitations for that. That should be kind of interesting. And we're using Jones & Company Realty houses to test out some new marketing techniques, and of course our new camera and things like that.
Yes, it's going to be very exciting. So, and we're going to document it all. We'll put it up for you guys so that you can have a better experience with your customers as well. So for starters, you can keep it simple. If you have not done any kind of virtual marketing before or done a virtual open house, don't freak out. You don't need to go out and buy a whole bunch of equipment. It doesn't take much. You can simply use your iPhone, an iPad, or any kind of Android tablet as well. And then you just need to make sure that you have a Facebook page or a Facebook account. That's all you're going to need. And if you like to use YouTube or Instagram, there are other features that you can use to go live. Right now, Facebook is the best because it's got the most attention right now. People are having a lot of success with Facebook. So we're going to cover the Facebook Live aspect or the Facebook event aspect with a pre-recorded video today. But if you like YouTube or any other thing any better, apply these same tactics to that social media. In the future, if you really want to start upgrading and get professional with it, these are some of the things that we've gotten as well. This is the different equipment that you can look into. So a camera rig or a stabilizer is what they have photographed here. It's something so that you can easily maneuver the phone without having the phone just between your fingers. Usually we hold it with our thumb and our pointer finger, and that's not very stable. Our hands shake a lot. The stabilizer allows that to get a smoother video, but also it typically along the top of the stabilizer has attachments where you can put lights, you can put microphones, and different things. Now, pictured here are the tiny LED lights. You can pick those up for like $12 on Amazon. You can pick the rig up for about 25 bucks on Amazon, and they have mics depending on how much you want to spend. It depends on the quality you're going to get there, but they do have some that start at 20 bucks and obviously can go up to hundreds. So
the reason we're mentioning some of this other equipment is we've looked at a lot of virtual tours and things like that. Without that extra level of professionalism, it really looks tacky. And you're showing off a $300,000, $500,000 house with just your phone, and maybe you didn't even turn your phone the correct direction. I mean, come on, you want to be professional, and we want to make sure that you are the most professional agents out there. So you're going to rise above and get more customers.
For sure. So if you are looking for better quality in the pixels or in, you know, what the customers are viewing, you can use an outside camera, but you do need to buy a converter box, which you can look up on Amazon as well. Or you can use a GoPro 7, the Hero Black Series, or anything newer than that. The GoPros allow you to connect directly to Facebook, which is a great thing. They also connect directly to YouTube. So you don't have to worry about trying to connect all kinds of equipment. You can put a GoPro right on a stabilizer and control it from your phone, go live and get high quality, you know, versus what kind of pixels your phone camera might have. You don't need these things, but if you're looking to step up your game, certainly things to start shopping around for.
Real quick question. You're talking about everything going live. Can everything that they're doing live be recorded in some way so that they can use it again to market?
Yeah. So whenever you go live on Facebook, they actually have a feature now afterwards when you post it and you keep it permanent. It'll allow you to download it as well. So then you can go ahead and add those to your YouTube channel and continue to use it for marketing.
There you go. And no extra charge.
Yeah. So then you want to focus, once you've got all of your stuff together, how are you going to put this together and how are you going to market it?
Yeah. Huh.
So first, go ahead and make your Facebook event.
Okay.
Because that's where we kind of want to drive everybody. Even if you're going to do it on YouTube or Instagram, the one place where you can make an invite that's virtual is Facebook. So go ahead and create your event. Tell people how they're going to find the video. So if you're going to do a Facebook Live, put in there, we're going to go live on Facebook so that people know where to find you. If you're going to go live on Instagram or YouTube, or you're going to post a pre-recorded video, put that in there. There's been a lot of confusion lately about what they should do, what they shouldn't do, where it goes. That's a lot of the questions we're getting. So right now, the people who are getting the best response are with the Facebook Lives, going live within the event. Okay. So you will definitely want to just set up that Facebook event page first and foremost out of everything, because this is going to be your marketing hub. You're going to use that Facebook event page to then tell your cheerleaders and the sellers about it. So you want them to go out and share it on Facebook as well ahead of time. You're going to put that on MLS, where the virtual tour options are, which we are going to go over today, because I know that's a new feature, a little confusing to everybody. So you're going to use that link for your virtual open house, and then you're going to share it across all your other social medias, and then you're going to email it out to your database. You want to get this out to as many people as possible. This is, in turn, your way of putting out signs for your virtual house.
And don't think of it as that open house 2 to 4. I recommend you want to do a 15-minute to maybe half an hour tour. That's going to be enough to get your customers in and out and works for you.
For sure. Yeah, you will see a decline because it gives you analytics a lot. You can see how many people were viewing. You will get a decline the longer you go. People have short attention spans, so just keep that in mind. Maybe wear a watch or set a timer for yourself, because a lot of us can get lost in a house and just keep talking and you don't realize how much time you've taken.
That's true. And keep your analytics, because you can show those to your sellers. Again, it's another layer of accountability to your customers. You're showing them what you're doing for them. And it also helps you plan on how you're going to do your next one.
Yes, because then your next one is your future marketing. So you can show sellers who are a little scared to sell right now because they don't think anybody will see it. This is going to be what you use to continue getting listings. So once you've got everything set, you've marketed it, it is showtime. It is the day to go live on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. So you want to make sure that you're filming horizontally. You get a better view if you've got it sideways. I know some of the agents have struggled with that this week. Make sure that you have the phone horizontal or sideways before you go live. Once you go live, it doesn't really let you flip it around. But a lot of agents are focusing on what they look like in the shot, so they're putting it tall, which I totally get it. But they want to see the house. You're going to get that better view of the house, putting it in landscape. So once you go live, then make sure you are interacting with your customers. Get them to ask you questions, get them to have feedback. Angie, we're going to show her example in a minute. She did really good at asking people what they thought of the closet space. You know, is it too much? Is it just right? How many things can you put in here? You know, really get them to engage. and try to get them to engage before you start walking through the house. You do want to give it like 2 minutes and talk about the area, talk about the community, talk about things where you're standing still so people can start to join in if you're doing it live. If you're doing it pre-recorded, you know, just start right off the bat and introduce yourself, the house, and continue.
And it doesn't have to be just one of you, like we're doing this together. You might want to think about doing that, invite your favorite lender or a title company. They may have some interest in sharing information with your customers. And again, if it's not just you for 15 minutes, people get more excited about talking to 2 different people.
Yeah, for sure, because we can get boring. So, and then just remember to breathe, smile, and we're all stepping out of the box. It's not just you guys, you know, you might think you're just untechy. Everybody's starting stuff new. So, for example, Angie did hers, and for one of the options that you could choose of why you wanted to watch the video, she put, I just want to laugh at realtors who don't know how to do virtual tours. So she made fun of herself. Everybody like felt comfortable. So even our beloved Angie is new to virtual open houses. If she can do it, you guys can do it. It'll be great.
Share it with your customers too, and say, hey, this is new for us. So we're really looking for a lot of feedback. You know, people love to help other people succeed. So give it a try.
Absolutely.
I read the screen.
JJ can read. So what we're going to do is look at some examples of people who are doing it right, people who are not doing it so right, and then we're going to make our own Facebook Live. Cool. Before we get into it, is there any questions about the equipment or things that you're going to need to start up? You guys look pretty good, pretty set. And if you have any questions, feel free to video chat us or stop by. We're all wearing our masks, and Janet is sanitizing on the hour. So you can come stop by and check out our equipment, get an idea of how things work. We're totally here to help, and we're really excited, you know, to be starting this new real estate venture. So when you're creating the event on your Facebook page, this is somebody who's doing it really well. He's doing a regularly scheduled open house, so which is a lot of effort, but he's getting that really nice view because it's a regularly scheduled episode. He's got a really nice cover photo. We are going to do a class here soon on Canva, but you can make something like this in Canva. He's getting a lot of great attention. Something that he's doing differently as a tactic is he's doing it multiple times a day, right? But he's not posting out his live videos. So you can't go and just watch it whenever you want. You've got to tune in if you want to see him. But he's a big time, like, kind of businessy city feel guy. So he's kind of going for that I'm important feel. Depends on what you want to do. The easiest and the best way, in my opinion, to do this is to just do your regular live video. Don't schedule one for several times a day. Seems kind of desperate to me, but to each their own.
I think you want to have time to follow up too. After the event, if you're doing it 2-3 times a day, you forget, and then you don't touch base with your customers, and you're back in that same cycle of, oh, I've been busy, and now what the hell, I don't have any leads.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, you can't just focus on one thing.
Yeah. So unless you got a crew doing it for you, think smart with your time. Okay, let's take a look at this one.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk you guys through this. I'm not sure. Can you guys hear it at all? No. Okay, that's fine. I don't need you guys to hear what they're saying because honestly, they're not really talking at all for the first several minutes. They're not interacting, so we're just kind of showing you an example of what you don't want to do. She's got a lender there on the side, and she's talking. So now they're finally talking, but really not talking about much. The lender does a spiel for a couple of minutes, and then she gets into her tour. So what she did was a screen share.
Yeah. And
she walked us through with Matterport. And JJ, I know you had some input on that.
Well, I'm looking at all of these things. They're flat screens. They're just photos. You can go on MLS, you can go on Zillow, you can go to realtor.com, you can look at anything. You don't need to go live to look at a photo. And then all you're hearing is voiceover, 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 voiceover talking about this. And I was ready to walk away after the second screen. I mean, really, how exciting is this? If I'm wanting to see a virtual tour or a live tour, I want to get a flow and a real feel of somebody walking through the house. This is just too flat. Even though it's Matterport, it's not a 3D, it's not live. And she was really running it more like an infomercial.
Yeah.
and again, we're not doing infomercials. We're not trying to be sales people and selling, you know, the dental implants and all that stuff you watch on TV or the makeup for, you know, for ageless, whatever. We're trying to get people engaged, and we want them to think, wow, I can really see myself cooking in this kitchen or doing my laundry in this laundry room. So you need to give it life. And we really felt this wasn't a good example of that. And it went on for an hour. They showed a couple of different properties on there. But again, it was just over and over. It wasn't really, you weren't really getting familiar with the agent. You weren't establishing an on-screen presence or a relationship. And that's the whole idea behind what we do as realtors, is to try to build a relationship. So this is that fun little gap we have between taking technology and our personalities and creating that relationship.
Yeah. So, so what's important here is really bringing them there. If you already have the Matterport link, just promote that. There's no need
to walk people
through it. And nobody wants to listen to you drone on. I do suggest going out and watching Angie Nichols' video. She did really, really good, even though she, you know, asked for tips and help afterwards. She did really good for her first virtual open house. She interacted well. Her husband, Adam Nichols, who's an agent with us as well, held the camera, and they did great. So what we're going to do is go ahead and walk through setting up a virtual open house. So in here, when you're in Facebook, we're going to go ahead and set up an event. If you haven't done that before, I promise I'm not going to make this drag on. I'm going to make it as fast as possible.
And the key, again, is it's marketing. You know, if you just go out on a Sunday when you're doing a real open house, a regular open house, and you put signs out in the street, and then you go and you sit and you hope somebody comes, that's not the best use of everybody's time. If you promote it prior to an event, you're always going to have better hype, better attention, better attendance, all of that kind of stuff. So this event is basically the same thing. You're doing an ad before it comes out. Get a little excitement going on there.
Okay, so I'm going to keep this pretty basic.
It should take you about 3 minutes maybe to create the event.
Yeah, not even. What's the address for Sandra?
It's 1143 Northwest 20th Place.
And then we're going to call it virtual open house. You don't want anybody actually showing up while you're recording and thinking it's a real open house. I mean, definitely try to sell them, but it might just mess up your whole swag. So, and then make sure that you change, if you're doing this from your business profile, it's going to automatically put the Jones & Co. Realty address in there. So change the location to where it is. It allows them to click through and easily see it, even though you don't want them showing up at the home. Okay, so we're going to put, please join us.
Keep using those words, virtual open house. If people are searching or they're scanning really quick, those are the kind of words that they're looking for. Keep them when you're picking your properties, kind of walk through and see, does it look good on screen? I looked at when Katie Bourgeois, one of the great agents in Florida, she took this little old house, tastefully done, but it was an older house. It showed well in the camera. So she took this smaller house. I mean, it even had like a turquoise bathroom, okay, guys? I mean, you know how that can be. It flowed really nice, and she was able to use that as a virtual open house, not just the real fancy-dancy houses. It's gonna, what shows good on the screen? Because you can be in a fancy house and it just does not translate well into film or into live. And it's gotta be a house that you're excited about, because the enthusiasm is gonna show as you walk and you talk. So as she's putting together a brief little thing in here, again, it's not to sell the house, just to get them excited enough to click on to see the house. Like if there's water, if there's a pool, something that's phenomenal about the house. It could be the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the date in here. We are gonna do ours on Friday. What did we decide on? 1 o'clock? Yeah. Okay. So we are going to be doing this at 1 o'clock, and this is real. I know I'm using it as an example, but you guys can tune in at 1 o'clock on Friday and see JJ do a lovely open house. So for category here, typically we put other, or you can put home, but really if you're doing home stuff, It's a little different.
So you're gonna look more for tips on home stuff as opposed to a house for sale.
So, but it depends on, you know, what you're trying to go after. There's a couple different categories. It's not really going to matter. It's just what they put it in as a category. It doesn't make marketing it any different. So frequency occurs once. If you want to do that daily, weekly, custom, regularly occurring thing, like our prior example did, that's where you would change that and you would get that like studio look that Stoutenberg had over here.
And when we chose Friday, we chose 1 to 3 on there. With virtual open houses, are there special days or times you think are better than others as compared to when we were doing live in person?
So typically the weekends are the best time to do, or Fridays. Fridays and weekends are the best time to be on Facebook, be interacting with people, or during lunch hours, or when people get home and they're relaxing on their phones eating dinner because none of us socialize anymore. But right now they don't have too many statistics out about like the Corona time period. You should just know that anytime you go live right now or you're marketing on social media, you're going to get more bang for your buck because everyone is on social media. So just expect higher numbers, but still they're seeing that regular pattern kind of still of lunch hour, nighttime socializing, and your weekends.
Your lunch hour might be a really good way to do it, especially since you're doing it very short, 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And if they're sitting there eating their lunch, social distancing, or they're by themselves because they can't hang out with everybody, 15 minutes is a really good way to push that open house. And what are you doing on Wednesday or Thursday, you know, at lunchtime? Right now, you're not out running around to a restaurant, so this might be a really good idea for you too.
Yeah. So once we've got the Facebook event made, I'm going to keep that tab open and I'm going to go ahead and log into MLS.
If you've been watching all your little bubbles and when you first go into MLS, they're talking a lot about open houses and virtual open houses and all that. We're going to make some information available to you. We're going to download this at the end so you'll have it, because now remember how they just said, okay, no open houses, and they closed it all down. Well, now they've added virtual open houses and they've added virtual broker open house fields in the MLS that you can use. And are you going to cover showing time as well?
No, so showing time, we're going to do a separate one on that probably next week. That they've got a whole new feature. There is a little snippet about that in your news and alerts on MLS if you want to read it ahead of time. But Showing Time's got a whole new feature where you can do virtual tours. And so do you want to talk about the difference between a virtual tour and a virtual open house? I guess the association's getting a lot of those phone calls about people trying to decipher what's the difference and what can they do, what can't they do.
Okay, and I think a lot of our agents are confused too. A virtual open house, a true open house, really it can be live, it should be live in my opinion. That they're actually producing one property, they're walking through, they're talking about the house, they're talking about the features, they're talking about pricing, landscaping, all that kind of good stuff. A virtual tour really is what you've paid for as a realtor. You paid 360 photography or some other service to do drones and Matterports and all of that. That's recorded. So you don't have to be there. There's no interaction of any kind. So that's what you post in MLS. That's what you've been advertising. And that's what you normally think of. But if you want to combine it, you can always do that combo of like what we saw with this other agent who was like messed up so bad as an infomercial. But that's what it becomes, more of an infomercial. The one good thing about that, if you do it, if you have 2 or 3 properties that are similar, you could do that. But again, it's a virtual tour. It's not live interaction. And usually that's our skill set as realtors, is to be live and interacting with people. The recorded videos are going to be kind of a hybrid, and Sandy Tharp did that this past week. She wanted to make sure that she had her tour absolutely perfect. So she set a time, she did everything like she was going to have a virtual open house, but she recorded a walk through of the house and she toured them. This is the lovely bathroom. Can you imagine, you know, taking your cookies out of the oven and putting them on this big concrete countertop, etc. So she did it like it was a virtual open house, but she was able to control it. So if she made a boo-boo while she was talking through, or she tripped or something like that, it can be edited out, and so it looks a little bit nicer. And that worked really well.
Absolutely. So once you have that event made, or if you've pre-recorded it, you can do the same thing, just get the link from wherever your video is, but we're going to continue on with our scenario. So we're promoting this event. We're going to go live. We want all of these attendees. So what you need to do is go to your property and input, like you were to make a normal open house reservation. So we're gonna keep using yours as an example. It would be nice if I knew my alphabet here. There we go. Okay, and this one.
And the one that we're using happens to be vacant, which is always preferable, because then you don't have to make sellers leave the house. You don't have to have them move their dogs out or anything like that.
Especially right now.
Yeah. So you can, and again, it's all about controlling the product that you're putting out.
Absolutely. So when you're in here, you're still going to go to the same button down here where it says open house. What they have changed is the open house type. You used to be able to have public or broker open. So you can see now that they've put the virtual in front of it. So you can't have any regular open houses. You can't really mess this up right now until they add all those features back in there. So we're going to make this a virtual public open house. And we are going to plug the date in. We're going to plug the time in. So we're doing this on Friday at 1 p.m. We're going to put till 1:30.
That's perfect. The good part too, when you've got a smaller time frame, is there's a certain amount of urgency. Because when you put 1 to 3, they may think, oh, I'll come around 2, and then something gets in their way, and they don't bother coming. But oh, hey, you tune in at 1 o'clock from 1 to 1:15, you get to see a great house. They're more likely to do that. So I think your numbers are going to increase.
Absolutely. So, and then usually for the remark in here, because this does feed out to other medias, I'm just going to copy and paste the description that I already wrote. No need to recreate the wheel. That way also where I explain where it's going to be, they understand what they're supposed to do to attend.
And that's key. So many people know about it, but they don't know how to even find your event or how to get to it or any of that kind of stuff. So we want to try to keep it simple and tell them exactly what to do.
Yes, give them as much direction as possible, because just as you're new to this, they're new to this. So they might be confused as to where they're supposed to attend, where the link is it a Zoom? What are we doing here? And I can attest that I think all of us are feeling that way lately. So we're going to use this link for the event from Facebook, and we're going to copy and paste it into the virtual open house URL. That way, if consumers are getting feeds from the MLS or they're on realtor.com, wherever they find your open house, it'll provide that link. They can click through it and it'll bring them to your Facebook event. And then from there, they're yours. They're going to register, hopefully say interested or going to the event, and then they'll get notified as soon as you go live.
There you go.
And this is how you want to keep driving people. Obviously, MLS is not the only way, especially where this is a new tool. Not everybody else, such as the consumers, they don't know how to use it as much. So that's why you still want to post it out as much as you can on Facebook. Get your family to support you by sharing it. Get the seller to support you by sharing it. Get it to your email. All these other places. It's very important. This is just one feature of many to get it seen.
And still think it's lead gen. So the more that you can put out and drive traffic, then you've got the better chance of getting the prospect. Because even though it's going to be an MLS, all of those other 7,000 agents who are actively working or not actively working have customers that are getting the properties sent out to them, right? So we want to drive as much traffic in so that you get the customer, you double dip it, you get all the money.
Absolutely. And for newer agents that are on here, if you're looking to just lead generate, or, at least, because this will help you with your branding as well. We have plenty of agents in the office that would love to have you post a virtual open house at their listing. So make sure you go through the MLS, check and see whose it is, reach out to them. So from here, once we are ready to go live and it's the day of, what you want to make sure that you do is you come back out to this event page. And if you're on your phone, it's the same thing. Go to the actual event and you want to go live from here. So click live video. If you're on your phone, it's the red button that says live video.
Are they on the event or are they on their page?
And this is in the event, because people are going to get alerted the day of that your event is here. It's going to say, hey, you've got a virtual open house in 5 minutes. They're going to click the link, which is going to bring them to this event page. If you go live from your personal business page, or from your personal account, or from your business page, people aren't going to know that you're over there. It's a different page completely on Facebook, and they're not going to know to go to your page, especially if they're a new prospect that you've gained. They're going to be completely confused and trying to like find you, which we've had with a couple of other people where we were trying to kind of watch it and see what everyone was doing. They had this great event and it said, hey, we have an open house in 5 minutes. We clicked through and we waited and we waited. And then we were like going to their personal page, we're going to their business page, just trying to find it. And we wanted to investigate, but if it's a consumer, they're not going to take that much time to try and find your video. So especially if you have somebody helping you and videotaping for you, what is best is to start your live video, allow people to check in. While people are checking in, you know, you start here on the event page, but then share that video out to your personal page and your business page until you start, so that people can find it in multiple places. That will also make it easier to be seen.
And always keep doing something in front of the camera. Like you saw that one bad example where they're sitting there picking their teeth and looking around. Talk about something, anything. It could, you know, it could be the latest news. You could even talk about your puppies. You know, just talk about anything that you want to talk about, but keep it active and working. Yeah. I mean, that's super, super, super important. I think Steve can attest to that, right, Steve?
So, yeah. And so another thing that I've seen big corporations doing that's great, if you kind of want to step up your marketing, you know, and you've got somebody else videotaping you, you've got your phone and you've got their phone. Something that you can do is go live on Instagram on one phone and go live on Facebook on another phone, and just hold both of those phones. Or if you have the camera rig, you know, depending on how crazy you want to get with it, you can go live on multiple medias by simply using 2 phones. A lot of people are doing that. They're getting a lot of traction. So
that's Virtual Open House 102.
Yeah, right.
Let's get through the first one.
So if you've never gone live before,
who has gone live? Can you guys like chime in?
Now we're in here twice. Okay.
Do you like our latest accessories?
Right. And I see we've got a couple of chats. I'm going to get to that in a second. So we're in this event. We're going live on this event. It's already starting to detect our microphone. We can share screen. What is important in here though is that you can make this public, or now I feel like I need to look at both screens. So, you can go ahead and practice if you want to. It works best on your phone if you just go to like make a post. You don't even have to do it on the event or the business page in case you're afraid you're going to mess up. You can just make a post and click go live and change your setting. It's when the camera opens, it's in the top left on your phone. Okay. And you can change it from public to just a select group of people, or you can make it where only you can see it. That'll allow you to practice and get comfortable with live streaming. I do suggest if you have like a best friend or a hubby or something, at least invite them so that they can watch and they can critique you. You can get the full experience of practicing, but it doesn't have to go public. And a lot of people, the first experience they have with Facebook Live is going live for an important event, and there's so many people on there and they're lost, they're confused. So do want to point that out for you guys.
We're very judgmental people. You know that we make decisions within 5 seconds. We're looking at how your screen is. We're looking at whether you're personable. We're looking at how you're dressed. All that kind of good stuff. They're adding it quick. So if you look like you don't know what the heck you're doing, their first thing is, oh my God, well, she doesn't know what she's doing. If I work with her, is she going to know what the hell she's doing when she's looking at a house for me? So we want to set up that high level of respect and professionalism as we're doing it.
Absolutely. So I see that Allie asked if it's showing up on realtor.com and all these other syndication sites. So they're updating regularly. We're updating regularly. It's supposed to. I don't know if, you know,
today it does.
Today it does. And some of them aren't feeding, like your smaller sites, they're not feeding the link correctly. Most of them are trying to make sure they're complying with the new MLS Virtual Open House. So it should be. And I'm gonna put it that way just because we're all new to this. I do have to say the association is working hard on giving features that are gonna be able to increase attendance and promote the virtual open house where the public can go and see it. They're working really hard to just like try and catch up and establish things as fast as possible.
We'll give a shout out really to the guys at Jerry and Jim at the World Palm Coast Realtor Association, and along with the CEO Beata. They are really working hard to get the right tools and techniques and everything out there, because there, believe it or not, there are associations that shut the doors and just close down to all this.
They've kind of left their members hanging. So we're very fortunate. If you follow their Facebook page and their social media, they're posting things consistently. Plus, you'll see it in the minutes there, any updates as the showing instructions change and things like that. So the other important thing to point out is once you have that link, we had some agents confused about where it goes. You want to make sure you only put that link in when you're making that open house appointment. Do not put it in the virtual tour section when you're in like the general info for your listing input, because that is still regulated. You cannot advertise. It has to be unbranded. And even if you just recorded it on YouTube and you post it to YouTube and you post it there, the YouTube is branded around it. It has your name, your profile picture, your company, so they consider that branded. So it will get shut down. So only post your live virtual open houses that are with Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all these outside medias. Only post that when you're making the open house appointment.
Can they take that URL and message in their phone out to different customers?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It'll make it easier for them to find it as well.
Yeah. So use your prospect database. Look at what's in your phone, which you've been cleaning up your database, right? I'm doing it every single day. I'm going through letters. I started with Z and I'm working my way up. So I'm getting rid of all the people that I don't know. Or, oh my God, I sold your house 20 years ago. I wonder if you still own the house. And then you go look and you go, oh shoot, they sold it. Darn, you're stupid. So get rid of that person. But you might find a contact that's still good.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you guys have been doing Facebook ads and getting a lot of leads for Facebook ads. Those type of people are the ones you really want to drive, like send them the personal invite on Facebook, send them a message and get all of those buyers to come and check out the open house as well, because we know they're out there, they're looking, and they enjoy Facebook.
There you go. Any questions so far?
Any other ones? Yeah, right. Do you guys have any other questions for us?
Hi, Paula. Great to see you jump on board. Is this your first one with us?
Second.
Second. Very good. I think one thing we didn't talk about when we're talking about promoting all of this, we were talking about the newer generations, and people get excited about getting involved in causes and organizations and giving back. If you really want to drive some more traffic, consider putting, when you're picking out your category, maybe pick a cause, pick an organization, pick something you're passionate about, and you can talk and you can put a little blurb in there. Hey, show up at the open house, and for every attendee that attends my open house, I'm going to give $5 to the Save the Elephants of Africa Foundation, or $2 to Southeastern Guide Dog School, or something that you're really, really passionate about. It could be Feeding America. But people love to give back, and they love people who give back.
Absolutely.
And we all do. That's one special thing about everybody at Jones & Company Realty. We've got big hearts, and we try to do whatever we can to help the community. So there's no harm in sharing what you do with the community. Let the people know that we do get involved. I think that will boost up your attendance dramatically.
Absolutely. And to the point of getting a lender or an inspector or any of your people involved, you can get them involved in giveaways as well. That'll increase your attendance. You know, right now everybody's a little like, you know, hugging their money in, so you can kind of get them to help. Maybe you can split it, give away prizes, or if it is for a donation, find somebody who is a real estate affiliate who's also passionate about that, and then you guys can split what the donation is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And don't think about donations in the normal way of bringing a bottle of wine. Think of something that you can actually mail out, because it's a potential lead. It's not an actual customer who's going to close with you, so you don't want to go spend $25 to drop them off a prize. But hey, a $5 Starbucks gift card or something like that, where they can go through a drive-through. You know, oh, how about $10 worth of McDonald's? Woohoo!
Those lines are crazy lately. Everyone's eating McDonald's.
Oh my God.
Forget the healthy diet.
Yeah, it seems that way. Comfort food is the way to go.
Absolutely. So, we have any other questions?
No, great. Thank you for your help.
No problem.
Okay, so that was part A. Thursday is part B, which
so we're going to talk about getting virtual with your customers. So this is going to cover some aspect of follow-up from after you do your open house, how you can connect with people and continue this relationship. It's not just a one and done, our 15 minutes of fame and it's over. We want to keep it going. But then we're also going to talk about for your database that you already have, how are you reaching out to people? How are you connecting with people? And what tactics you should be using right now to help them not be so salesy, all these different things that we can be doing. Everything we're covering is going to be free. We're not trying to get anybody out there buying expensive video equipment or, being virtual now is a lot more simpler than we think it is. It's just about changing our tactics.
That's exactly right. And who knows, you may actually sell a house from a virtual open house.
Absolutely.
So our time's up. 45 minutes. How about that? We're trying to keep it so you don't get too bored. Y'all have a fantastic afternoon. We're here for you. Just call us and we'll be with you again. And peace out.